Option is Cassiopeia, Vladimir both hovered, and it is the Cassiopeia, once known as Orochi, the great 8-headed serpent of lore.
Orochimaru. Quite hard to stop Galio from being able to respond. If you are in range from Miasma, you can throw the Miasma onto the Galio as he's charging up his ultimate. It will stop that though, worth noting.
Be a bit challenging. While Ale though, with the shove from bot side, do manage to come over and date the dragon. Nice little shadow into the bush there to ensure that there was no trundle waiting in the wings.
It's actually quite fine in individual matchups in this game. That opens up options for BLG. As long as Knight and Bin have some options for themselves, makes a difference. That being said, I mean, Tarzan's going to go straight towards Bin.
Find the angle, waiting to see whether he can find something to work with. Throws down the shadows, hops forward, slow from that smite. In comes the Death Mark, looking for an angle, lots of damage back, gets the ult of the wall, but there's a flash on him from Shanks! And down goes the Gnar.
Been way too far forward, uses his flash towards their old standards, and anyone's legend have been putting them to the sword when they have made those mistakes.
TP's come on through, there's a ward there remaining, but that's the TP behind. Flandre now in danger himself, needs to throw down the counter-strike, does. Where do you run though? Hops to the other side, needs to keep walking, but I think he just dies. Good TP behind and BLG punish. Didn't know the wall behind there to get thrown down the drain.
Yeah, so Flandre on the other side of it, he's caught out now. Two grubs, remember, so they can cross them up fairly effectively. One dragon for one dragon early on. BH1 able to chomp that one down and keep his team present in objectives.
Tarzan goes in and nabs some Raptor camps away. Go for anything like the Rev buff.
Something like that.
He has been great on things like the Neferi though, which we haven't seen this series yet, actually thinking about it. But try and do some of that carrying there. Take a slightly different role in the team. Kyle, fall a little bit out by that pillar. Does eat half of his HP bar.
Herald started up. Kyle still has that ult, still has flash. You can pull it over the wall. It's a great hostile takeover angle.
Goes flashing on in for that hostile takeover. Bin finds a decent angle himself. El coming to the air with a feather storm trying to buy some time. Tarzan goes back into the shadow. Bin dangerously low. Will surely go down. The feathers after the flash. Keeps people rooted in place. Shanks does not get the full ult well, but gets the shield. Double kill towards Tarzan, who gets the shadow again. He's going for the pentakill. Tarzan denied.
Hope steals the pentakill as Tarzan clears through the fight in their hardest to play draft. Tarzan, the crownless king of the jungle, may have found the fight and the gold he needs to finally see silverware. BLG get routed at the Herald. They do get the objective, I believe. Yeah, it's in the inventory of Elk, but it just doesn't matter. Anyone's legend get the reset on the Varus side of the map. We'll probably just let this turret go. BLG, oh, how do they feel on stage now? The recent overlords of the LPL, a piece changed. A coach fired, a jungle changed out. There are no summoners for anyone's legend this time, but with so much extra gold, BLG will need to be very careful.
Here comes the pillar, hoping to spot a danger. The feather pull doesn't land, but the petrifying gaze does. In comes Galio, trying to keep the AD carry alive, but does so. Tarzan in the back line! Help get two! Now they need to run Bilibili Gaming to get out on the frozen domain, but they go for the pick and it all goes so wrong.
Tarzan just absolutely massacres them. Is this season 3 or is this 2025? You couldn't tell me the difference between them. Bin gets the ultimate out of Flandre, but that will be a dragon going towards anyone's legend. And as we were saying, it's a hard comp to play. How do you win team fights as anyone's legend? They're proving us wrong. Turns out when you have a player like Tarzan in the jungle, sometimes it's jungle diff.
The Zahir and the Cassiopeia burn their ults. Suddenly, you've got a Jax and a Zed flying on in to punish your temerity. Flandre's coming topside. Bin low will knock out of the counter-strike with his own ult. In comes the TP of their own, but Kyle also here. Flandre in danger. Elk now about to come in and get involved. Bin caught by the winds of war. Handshake back. Shanks running away. It's a 1-for-1 in the end.
Now, Tarzan's not there at this fight, so he's not there to pull off those smooth moves. Again, pushing in mid lane. Tarzan, good roam up towards top side. Now, level 13 in the melee range. This is one of the points where the Zed mechanics really come out on top. BLG rushing the Atacon down. They do have the Cassiopeia. Good damage on the objective.
Here come the members of anyone's legend. Down to half HP. Bin and On also coming on down. Jax can TP and may need to do so soon. Down to 5k HP. Anyone's legend still winning on a contest. Atacon still spawning. It's going to be a flip. Can you smell the burgers here in the potentially final game? Back to Consecute. The hostile takeover is brutalizing. Shanks a little bit deep. Needs to run away. Goes down into the bailout. Doesn't get to be brought back to life, but the health bar's so desperately low from BLG. Can they find some more? Shadow Knight to the backline. The petrifying gaze, but Flandre's not hit. He's not turned to stone. Flash for the counter strike. The mage is on, and he headshots the backline.
BLG try to take the Atacon, but all they find is doom. Tarzan
with on that one. He's having a fantastic game on this Renata as well. For all we've seen, a lot of flash And hunger from Tarzan. 8 times he has been here before. Finally, he might be getting it. Elk! Oh my god, the death mark. Not quite enough to bring him down, but he's down at 3rd HP. Beige1 on, also in a potential change of his position. The Shadow dash forward. Gets another. Can maybe reset to his own Shadow. Needs to back away. Not afraid. All the while, Bin not quite at the Mega. Hail of Arrows comes on down and will be forced to transform in short order. On now in danger as well. Knight throws down the Miasma. But unfortunately, I think it's just the Furor, the fugue of their own defeat looming in the background. The Shield of Durand. Knight throws out a petrifying gaze, but no one is fooled. Medusa fell by the Perseus of anyone's legend.
Knight turns to stone as potentially anyone's legend turn golden. 2 years ago, I sat and watched Tarzan lose his finals against JDG and Knight in the finals when he was on LNG. A year ago, he was on Weibo making a finals versus BLG. And now he has a 3rd chance against Knight to finally see golden in his 7th finals. Beige1's caught out. He will go down. Anyone's legend. A team which I didn't expect to be here, which so many people didn't expect to be here, have truly earned this.
Handshake comes along. Tarzan murders the jungler. Beige1, I don't know how you were there. All you find is death.
Ward them out, though. Kyle doesn't have his ultimate. I don't think he necessarily needs it. BLG, I don't know what they do. I just don't know what they do. They're out of options.
Shanks. Gotta be so afraid. He's on a really good flank angle. Looks to come around with Tarzan. They're going in while their angle's not fantastic. Shanks not coming in with the hero's entrance. Gets the knock-up on. Damage is good onto Kyle. Cleanses himself. Bin doesn't land the wallop. All the while, Shanks and Tarzan on the backline. Throwing out shurikens. Good dodge away with the death mark. Gets the back away. Throwing out the shuriken. Goes back on the other side. Flash in. Baylor on top of it. Brought back to life. Hops on forwards again. He's just better.
Tarzan, look at the plays. Look at the moves. What was that? Tarzan, 9-0 and 7 on the mass.
Phenomenal moves.
His accuracy, his ability to understand where his shadows are so important. Knows he has the bailout. So often Zed is a one-way trip when you assassinate. Not here. It's all just a non-stop trip to the Nexus.
It's not a one-way trip, it's a one-way road. The Golden Highway. 10 years has this organization waited. 8 finals has Tarzan waited. It's so close they can taste it.
9-0-7. A Magi's on Shanks. BLG, so often a shoo-in for a title in the last year or two. So often assumed victors of the LPL. No longer so. Flandre, a world champion, an LPL champion. Seen better days individually. Not mention Shanks and Tarzan. This mid-jungle duo have been exemplary through this series.
Serpent's Fang done by Tarzan, by the way. There is no shield in the world that keeps you alive here. Andre forced the flash out of Beige1 just with the counterplay. Pillared himself towards him and really regretted it.
Anyone's legend. I mean, so disgusting. How do BLG defend this? You know, typically you'd think that it's very good to play around the disengage of the Xayah and the Caspian. They've not been able to protect their backline. You don't have Stacy's, you don't have Zhonya's, you don't have enough damage. What do you have? Tarzan, level 16, 2 levels up on Beige1. A player, I think his story is inspiring, Beige1, but he was never favored to beat Tarzan in the individual jungle matchup, and indeed he hasn't today. Tarzan, a good chunk onto Beige1.
Shanks knocks down the turret. Mid lane exposed. Anyone's legend on the verge of righting the wrongs of game 3. Try to turn on to the side of them. They just don't have the damage. Knight at 3 items, 3.5 items, and still can't deliver.
BLG, their early fights have been their undoing. Even though it built their legacy, been not caught by that taunt, but not able to protect the inhibitor either. Anyone's legend on the precipice of history. A team which no one expected to be here. If you followed them recently in the last year or two, they have deserved it so much as L takes another chunk.
Down to 20% HP, he can't stick around anymore. The arrow comes on, in comes Shank for the hero's entrance. Anyone's legend. Get on down to 5%. Flandre forwards, another inhibitor under siege. They're looking for the Nexus turrets.
The inhibitor being felled. Hope walking forwards. Oh, Hope, a player which has been so far away from this title for so long, returning to it potentially after so many years.
The first turret around the Nexus falls, the first brick to what could be the final end of this journey. The Golden Highway looks finally to be completed. Knight brought low. The king of mid in LPL is slaughtered. Anyone can be a legend, yes, but today, anyone's legend are.